We have a lot to do today, so let's get to it. This is our halfway installment, just past the halfway point of the NBA season. These are my NBA stubborn power rankings. It's my own formula. If you were up last night watching San Antonio, Brooklyn, without Kyrie and Kevin Durant, then maybe I'll hear an argument from you. If you were not, I don't want to hear it. It's based on my own formula of health bets. Who has the best health? Almost nobody. Faith is part of this too. And I'm not saying it's a higher calling, but we're going to run through this. All right. NBA stubborn power rankings. Number one, Boston Celtics. I don't really know that there's really any discussion for who else to be number one. Does it guarantee them anything? No, of course not. It doesn't guarantee anything. If your counter to any of these is they won't win, the odds are in your favor. The point is here is that Tatum and Jaylen Brown play games. And I know Jaylen's dealing with a groin injury right now. These guys play. There's another conversation to be had that was pretty interesting. I was talking with a league guy last night. We were going through kind of like how the top twos and how we were always conditioned to the top threes. When Miami was running through the league and going to 4 straight finals, it was because you looked at their big three. And then big three almost became mandatory for any team that was trying to compete for a title. And Golden State had theirs. And then they added another guy named Kevin Durant to make the most absurd big four probably of all time and arguably the most talented 5-man roster I think I've ever seen in NBA history. So then when the Lakers added Anthony Davis, then it became kind of mandatory to be like, well, who's going to be their third guy? Well, I guess it was Kuzma, maybe playoff Rondo, but that's not what we think of when we think of the template for a big three of an NBA team. So really, they just won a title and they didn't really need their big three. And now when you look at it more recently, the big three model, it's great if you can try to do it, but a lot of times we're just kind of naming the third best guy, and it's not the same as what Miami and what Golden State had, although we were conditioned to believe that's what you needed because that was really an arms race there for a while in the league because it happened for like 10 years. So Boston's top two guys play a lot. They're really good. Rob Williams completely changes who they are, and I don't really know that there's any debate on that. I'm going to keep Milwaukee at number 2. Their last 15 games are 7-8. They're 28th in offense. Why do you have them number 2? Because of Giannis. And I know he's missed 10 games this season. Drew's missed 11. Their health bet is a little weird because I still expect Giannis. He's going to be there and ready to go. And he's kind of the best player in the league. Maybe some pushback from some, I don't know, KD people when he was rolling. I was a KD person as far as the versus Giannis thing. I am no longer that. I'm sorry. But Middleton's missed 38 games. He's supposed to maybe be back this week. The stats aren't going to be very good. The weird thing about them is when I wasn't loving their depth, the Ingles part of it, he was great last night against Toronto. He's just really important because he can run your offense. He's great with pick and roll. He's a decent defensive matchup with some size against other players. So when they're back and healthy and because of the Giannis thing, I don't know that you can have Milwaukee much lower than number 2. Number 3, let's go out west. It is Memphis. Ja, what's their health bet? He's only missed 7 games, although I think he's going to get hurt every time he lands. Jaren Jackson, who's on another planet right now defensively. If you look at some of the rim numbers, he's missed 16 games and Baines missed 20. So you're like, that's a lot of games. Here's the other part of my health bet formula. If you're younger and you're hurt, I like that better than being older and being hurt. Will I contradict myself on that? Yes, I will. So I have Memphis number 3. The defense the last 15 games is about 2 points better than the number 2 defense in the NBA over those 15 games. And who would that team be? The Brooklyn Nets. Don't worry, we'll get to them. Number 4, I'm putting the fucking Warriors there. I don't want to hear it. They're a 7 seed. They're only 4 games out from the 3 seed. They're a couple weeks away from being a 3 seed and everybody going like, wait, why were we worried about this? Now, is their health bet a good one? Steph's missed 14 games. Klay's missed 10. Draymond's missed 4. Wiggins has actually missed 17. And as I just said, if you're younger and hurt, I like that better than being older and hurt. I just think it's going to be a huge, huge mistake to think that if this team doesn't put together 2 months where they have all the guys together, that you'd be writing off. And I don't know if anybody's necessarily making that. I just think we're so visual at times when you just see an 11 or a 10 or a 7 on the seating next to Golden State when you look at the standings every morning. You're like, wait, so I'm going to have them 4. That might be too low. Where's Denver? Don't worry about it. We have them 5th. They're the 1 seed today. Am I really wrong to have them 5th? I'm not. I don't think I am. That's why they're the stubborn power rankings. Jokic has only missed 4 games. Murray's missed 7. He's back. We're good. Aaron Gordon's been awesome. Touched on it already. He's only missed 4 games. Michael Porter Jr.'s missed 14. That's a really good 4. I like their 5. I like their 6 and 7. I really like the team. Defensively, they're 17th on the season. They're number 3 in their last 15. Are they actually now going to be good for a long stretch defensively? That would change everything, and it would change the way I look at the Nuggets. I think they're a good health bet, knowing that Michael Porter Jr. is going to get hurt again. He will, but as long as those top 3 guys stay relatively healthy, and just because Murray was out with the knee for such a long time, that doesn't mean it's the same as maybe some of the Durant concerns a little bit later on. All right, you want to get weird? Let's get weird. At number 6, I have the Phoenix Suns. They're not even in the play-in game right now. They're a half game behind OKC. It goes OKC, Portland, Phoenix. They're your 12-seed Suns. I could do missed games. Booker's had 2 long stretches. It's bad. Chris Paul's had 2 stretches. It's looked bad. I'm not having him in my top 10 because when they're healthy, although a worse health bet because of the Paul part of this than some of the other teams, when they are healthy and Booker being a top 10 player, which I think at this point is kind of a certainty, and even when you looked at the standings when they actually had their guys back and Paul wasn't even playing that well, this was a really good record team in the NBA to start the season. So I'm putting them 6, and we'll get to the rest of this. At number 7, I have Cleveland. They're the 5 seed today, but number 2 through 5 in the East are separated by 1 game. That's Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Cleveland. Mitchell's missed 5 games. Garland's missed 9. Garland's have been kind of fluky, the eye thing in the beginning, and then he get scratched again. Mobley's only missed 2. Jarrett Allen has missed 7. Remember last year when Jarrett Allen was out for that long stretch, again, a better health bet on Jarrett Allen than some of the other guys, they were a completely different team defensively. The numbers, it was like 2 totally different teams. Certainly when Allen's there, a lot better. Okay, where's Philly? Well, they're next. They're at number 8. It seems low. I know how much I like the roster before the season gets started. Yes, there's some history stuff with Philly that you never feel like is a great thing to bet on necessarily. Here's some good news. Harden's 40% from 3 the last 2 months. He's only taken 15 shots a game. He had 13.6 with Philly last year in just 20-plus games. He's at the lowest shot attempts per game since the OKC days, all right? So he's starting to make threes after a weird stretch of multiple seasons where he was just way below that number. And I didn't know if it was the foul hunting. I didn't know if it was being out of shape or whatever. And so it's looked good. I mean, Embiid's missed 11. Harden's missed 15. Maxi's missed 19. They got a really nice win against the Clippers last night where they pulled away in that game. I would say the Maxi minutes without the other 2 players, as great as he is and as excited as you should be, it was way too much. Man, he was just doing his own thing for that entire substretch there without the other guys. And then Embiid is just impossible. Now that he's hunting for fouls on top of everything else, good fucking luck with that. I would say this is alarming, and the eye test backs it up because when I watched Philly, I go, why do they seem to screw up, though, a lot late? It's because they do. Turnover numbers in clutch time. So score within 5 points last 2 minutes of a game. NBA.com has this one. Number 1 in turnovers in those situations in clutch time, Beal, number 1. Number 2 is Harden. Number 3 is Embiid. Not great, Bob. Not what you're looking for. Could get sorted out. Could be the injury stuff. Maybe it feels too low. I think it's a history thing having him down here at 8. Number 9, Brooklyn. I went back and forth on this forever. I had Brooklyn 8, and I had Philly 8. I changed it. Probably not that much. I had other stuff to do. KD's only missed 4, but he's going to be out a month. Kyrie's missed 11. Simmons has missed 11. Their defense has actually been number 2 in the NBA the last 15 games. The KD uncertainty part of it is the tiebreaker where, look, Embiid and Harden are back with Maxey and they're playing. If it were reversed where Durant was still playing right now, if Durant were still playing and we didn't have another knee injury thing here, I might have Brooklyn at 6. But this isn't so much the physical health bet as it is the bet on will the Simmons-Kyrie thing be fine. I think Simmons is going to be fine. The physical part of it maybe could be a question for him because he's had stuff in the past. I just think with Simmons, it's going to be matchup stuff in the playoffs where he's going to get completely exposed again because we're starting to see some of it in the regular season. Kyrie sat out last night. All right, so who's got that 10th spot, Russillo? Who's got it? Is it the Knicks, the 6th seed today? Is it the Miami Heat? who are a 7 seed now, creeping up a little bit. They were a shot away from making it to the NBA Finals last year. Butler's missed 14 games. Bam has missed 5. Hero's missed 12. Lowry doesn't even count anymore. The Heat are playing defense. What about Dallas, Ryan? They're the 5 seed. Did you forget about them? No, I didn't. 9-6 in their last 15. They can't stop anybody, though. They're 27th on D in the last 15, 25th for the season, and that was after a massive turnaround, changing their identity as a team last season, being 7th on defense last year. That was like, oh, wait, remember Dallas kind of had this like almost Boston-ish 2 versions of the same team in the same season story. That's what they did, and now they're not defending anybody. And I'm just not that impressed, so I have them out. Wait, Sacramento, you forgot about the Kings. Light the beam. They're the 4 seed. They're the number 1 offense in the NBA in the last 15 games. When did you think you'd hear that? They're 25th on D, last 15, 24th in the season. Kind of a problem. Like the way they play. It's not them. I'm going to put your 3rd seed Pelicans at number 10 in my power rankings. They are, in their last 15, 21st on offense, 10th on D. Zion's missed 15 games. CJ's missed 5 games. Ingram's missed 29. He's supposed to be back any day now. That seems to be getting a little contentious. 8-7 in their last 15. The Pelicans would be a lot higher if Zion were playing. I might even pick them to win the West if Zion were playing. I know it's new. It kind of goes against my Sacramento rule, having them out. Nice story. Not picking you in the playoffs, most likely, because it just feels a little too new, despite how great that group, that top 5 or 6 group has been with Sacramento. But yeah, I'm putting New Orleans in my stubborn rankings at number 10. Just as a side, last 15, here's some numbers for you. Oklahoma City's 10-5. They have a plus 5.6 net rating, which is 5th best in the NBA. I did not debate on whether or not I should have OKC, today's 10 seed in the West, in my top 10. They're my rankings, so deal with it.